Welcome back to the Blindside DIY. Great to have you again. So, it was just yesterday, last night actually, when I uploaded my introduction video. So, I thought about it and I was like, man, I've looked at a lot of other people's channels, and I'm like, they have a lot of tool reviews, but at the same time, they tell you, hey, what are your basic tools that you need? That's a really big question. What tools do you need to start out with? What tools do you need to start out with as a mechanic? What tools do you need to start out with for woodworking? Well, you know what? Today we're going to go over that. Matter of fact, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a bit of my tools that I've collected over the years, and not just that. We're going to go to my favorite place, the Home Depot. I love it. We're going to go and compare and contrast to Home Depot and Lowe's and pros and cons and Harbor Freight and stuff like that. We'll talk about all that in a bit, but let's get down into the nitty-gritty of all this. Okay? So, what we got here, and I'll start with the basics. The first thing I would definitely recommend is definitely getting gloves. Now, I got a pair of gloves here, okay? These are actually mechanical gloves. They're Grease Monkey gloves. Okay, now y'all are thinking, well, why in the world do you have these gloves and you have these gloves? What is the difference? Why do you need two pairs of gloves? Well, let me tell you why. Your hands is why, to protect your hands. These are meant specifically for mechanic or automotive applications. Okay, you can't really see here. Matter of fact, I'll come close to the camera so you can see. Get around here for you. These were perfectly in good condition, as you can see. I'm going to zoom this in for you so you can see. If you can see, they're very torn up. And there's even a hole right there in that one. So, the reason I showed you this, and I'm telling you this, is because not very long ago, about 2 weeks ago, I was cutting trees, didn't have any gloves, and I was like, I'll use my mechanics gloves. Well, little did I know, this apple tree that I was cutting tore up my gloves. And I was just picking them up. I wasn't doing any rough work. I was just picking them up. So, I've torn up my mechanics gloves. So, the reason I'm telling you this is you should have two pairs, so you use these strictly for automotive applications, so you have gloves that are there that you can use. These aren't going to scrape up your hands. They're going to protect your hands from getting cut, scraped. That's what these knuckles are here for. They protect you. Now these, what are these? These are actual outdoor professional grade working gloves. These are Trademaster firm grip gloves. They have the knuckles on the top, except for this is a soft foam. And on the inside they have a real nice rough, almost like a leather feeling to them. But what that does is when you're picking up something, it has grit, and it's not going to cause any damage to your hands. So, I have these two. I've used this on a lot of wood and mechanical operations and applications, and these don't have any tears in them. I'm not going to come to the camera and show you, but these are great. I would suggest getting them. These were about 10 bucks. These were about 10 bucks as well. You can get these at your Advanced Auto. You can get these at the Home Depot. I would highly suggest it. Now, going through this here. Put those back down there. Some of the first tools I got, I would say, was not woodworking. It was actually mechanical tools. So, over here on this side is more of my mechanical tool side, and on this side is my DIY, general labor, remodel tools. Things I would commonly use in woodworking or drywall. Anytime I'm building something, framing something, this is what I would use as a base. So if you're needing something as base tools, this is what you would need. Doesn't cost a lot of money. This is probably a couple $100s here. Now, I have way more tools than this. I have a whole big, huge workbench. But as of right now, these are the basics of what you could use to get started. So let's dive right in. Right here, if you're going to be working on automotive applications, you're going to need some jump starting cables. These are, they're not super expensive, they're not heavy duty, not even medium, they're very light duty cables, but for the applications you'll be working on most of the time, you got a $10 pair of gloves from Advanced Auto, AutoZone, O'Reilly's. Here it is. Okay, if you have a bigger truck, like a 3500 or something, I would suggest getting heavy duty cables because they can generate a lot more power or create better flow when you're trying to jump off a vehicle. Okay, what's this? This is a bag full of sockets. This one as well. One is SAE and one is metric. I'll come over here and I'll show you. These are all Duralast brand from AutoZone. Everybody tells you you need some sort of big fancy box or a bag. No, you don't. Here's the bag. Put it in the bag. As long as it retains it, holds it, and you can find all the pieces, that's all you need. It doesn't need to be fancy because at the end of the day, they're going to get dirty. They're going to get slimy and grimy. It doesn't hurt to have them in a bag. Simple, easy way to put it. Next, you are going to need a ratchet. This one is a Duralast. It's guaranteed for life. I love it. If you break this, it will be replaced. You go up there, they'll replace it free. And just to let you guys know, I'm not sponsored by anyone, period. Especially since I'm just starting. These are just tools I use, okay? I'm not a professional. These are just things I ran into as a dad, as a husband, as a father, and I had to figure it out. So that's why I'm sharing it with you. It doesn't matter if you get a 1/2 inch, 3/8 inch, doesn't matter. Either one will work. I mean, for certain applications, you can get a connector if you have a 1/2 inch or 3/8, and it will work if you had a bigger socket size. So if you had 1/2 inch sizes instead of 3/8, that's okay. This, what is this? This is an extension piece that goes on to your socket wrench. Pops on, and now you can get into tighter spaces that you couldn't normally reach with just this wrench. Very handy, about 10 bucks. This is about maybe 10 to 15. Both of these, all Duralast items, have a lifetime warranty on it. You break it, they'll replace it free. Alright? Another thing I would suggest, and I'm going to jump in the middle of this, anytime you're doing something, there's two things I would suggest you're having, is a tool belt. Whether you're doing DIY for an automotive application, or you're doing it for a general DIY labor application like remodeling in the house. Nothing wrong with it. You can have a lot of things in here. I use this, period, for everything I do. I just use it. I keep a rag in here. This is a mechanic's rag, Scott. You know, you can get one, it's just a shop rag. But I love these things. You need to swipe, wipe sweat, any type of grease off, you got this here. I also carry in that same pouch a socket wrench. Just in case. If I can't find one, I have one on me. You never know what you might need it for. Also, I carry bits in here, different sizes, socket heads. That's an empty pouch. Usually I'll put nails, or if I'm taking bolts off of a car, I'll put bolts in there just so I know where they're at instead of laying them on the ground and getting lost. Or you can do what I did here before and get a bag, like a clear plastic sandwich bag, and put them in there and label where they came from so you know. Tape measure. Any project you do, automotive or woodworking or general DIY, you are going to need a tape measure. This one happens to be a 12-foot tape measure. It's Home Depot brand HDX. Great. I have another tape measure in here. It's a bigger one, longer, 25-foot. But either way, you'll need a tape measure. This is what's going to help you measure out what something is in length and cut it or splice it or whatever you need to do to size. I always carry this because you never know when you may need it, and I've learned over the years that more or less I needed this. In this pouch, I keep gloves. More or less for automotive applications, because I don't want my hands to always get greasy or dirty, especially because I have kids and I have pets and I'm going inside out of the house. I don't want to get any of that material on me and transfer or possibly eat food after by accident, and now I'm getting sort of bacteria or nasty viruses into my system because I just wasn't wearing these. They're disposable, easy on, easy off. Trash them when you're done. Replace them in the pouch. Over here, there's just another empty pouch. It's a lot bigger. You can add any of these tools. That's fine. On the other side, it's kind of hard to see this, but there's a strap here. You can put a hammer in here and hang it. Here, you can put a screwdriver head. There's another smaller pocket you can put nails in. Same idea over here, except for these ones right here have a little hole through it. You can't really see it, but these have a hole through it, and you can put, and I usually use these for screwdrivers or flatheads, and I'll run them through there. So you can also use that for any smaller thing, because not just the hole, it does have a portion down here where you can still stick something in and hold it in place. So that's it for this tool belt. Now, before I jump into the rest of these, this is the other second thing I was talking about. Clamps. Whether you're working on automotive applications or woodworking, you will need clamps. Clamps will save your life. Tons of clamps are good for you. These are 2-inch spring clamps. They're Anvil from Home Depot. They cost 98 cents a piece. Okay? You'll find a whole bunch of pennies on the ground. You find a quarter on the ground like at Walmart. Okay? Get some clamps. Okay, what is this? Over here, I actually got this last Christmas. This is my mechanics toolbox. It's a 105 set piece set. I'm just going to go through each drawer and show you. I'm not going to go super in depth with it because there's a lot, and I'm trying to keep the video short just to kind of show you the basics of what you might be using. Okay, here in this top drawer, we have a couple different wrenches and pliers in here. So keep that in mind. Whether it's a needle nose, which I have 2 different needle noses in here, an adjustable wrench, you'll need these. And some cutters. Period, point blank. At some point you'll need it. And adjustable wrenches will save your life in a lot of applications, whether automotive or DIY for the home. So the second one, this is where the mechanic stuff comes in. I have those socket sets, but these are a little bit different. They're metric and SAE on both sides. So one side, in this case, is metric. The other side is SAE. And then I have the different tools I might need in here, like a socket wrench, a actual handheld piece, and I can use the connector and connect some of these pieces and screwdriver bits in here. This is more of your electrical stuff. I got screwdrivers, flatheads. I got a stubby screwdriver here. I got circuit tester, electricity tester, voltage tester pretty much. I got some smaller precision screwdriver sets in here. I got a wire stripper and cutter. I have some butt connectors and some other electrical pieces in this little tiny box down here. Right here as well. I would suggest getting one of these at some point. You don't have to, but you never know when you might need an Allen key. Okay, because I got like 2 or 3, but I got like 1 here and like 2 over there in this box I'm about to show you. And these are just my wrenches, SAE of course, and metric like I said before. Box cutter, you have some more pliers right here, and some more grips, and some extra pair of, in the bottom of box cutting blades. Mechanics tool set, we can look at that too. This one is going to be typically it, but you can go here. What I would recommend saying is when you're doing this, you can type in hand tool set, and when you type in hand tool set, it'll say looking for something more specific, and you can look at home tool kits or you can look at mechanics tool kits. Right now, luckily, we already have these pulled up. These are some really great kits, but we're going to go to mechanic tool sets to see if that is going to give us a little bit broader. So right here, you do see there's a kit here. So let's say $10 to $20. And some may come in boxes the same way. Here we go, perfect example right here. $20. It's a 40-piece mechanic tool set. You got probably what it looks like is SAE and metric. You have a hand screwdriver which you can use, and have the attachment right here for attaching the sockets. You have a socket wrench here with a little tiny extension piece. So this is a really great set for 20 bucks. We have a couple other ones here. This one is more of a compact version, but it's the same idea. It's a 40-piece set, and this is actually 15 bucks. Much more compact. Has an extension piece, socket wrench, hand wrench,
and then the connecting pieces. So you get some great options to get started. You know, so for under pretty much 40 bucks, you can get started in automotive work, at least the basics of it, and your home DIY. So we're going to go back to the shop, and we're going to hopefully close this out. Thanks, guys.
Alright, we're back in the shop. But at the end of the day, like I said, you don't need all the expensive, crazy tools like I have. Go to your Harbor Freight, get that little box that I had, a 105-piece set. It's like $49.99. Other than that, I'll have another video coming soon of the frame that I promised you guys. It's drying from paint, so I haven't really touched it yet, but that's why. So that will come here in the next couple days, and it's going to take me a while because I got to edit these videos. But like, subscribe, and thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Catch you on the next one.